So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about two things. So ego, that's really bad. Ego is a bad thing to have. When does ego come in the way? Well, it's going to come in the way, when you're going to have, a co-founder, and that's the second thing I will talk about in this video is, the co-founder recurring issues that, we see often in the entrepreneurial world. But so what's going to happen here when you have a lot of ego? So you're gonna, want to keep the share, the share of the maximum of shares in your company. You will not want to give away shares of your company to your investors, not really being empathic, not really understanding that actually they're taking as much risk as you putting some money in your company. It's going to be a problem, with your teams when everyone wants the same title and so on. It's going to be a problem in negotiation where you're going to, try to, take all the things, make it beneficial for you and not create win-win situations, right? And in negotiation, the key is value creation. You need to set goals of common value creation. And if your ego is in the way, you will want to create value only for you. Ego is going to also be affecting your decisions. So with ego makes people blind, right? So you're going to be making decisions thinking you have the best idea ever just because it's you, right? So your ego is going to come in the way, make you make the wrong decisions, and you're going to fail. And ego can be really bad for career as well. So if you work for a big company and you're very egocentric and you see things only to your benefits, well, your colleagues are not gonna like you as much, and your manager might not like you as much, and that's can destroy your career as well. So ego is really something you need to manage. You need to manage the entrepreneurial ego, and that's a key thing to do here. So then let's move on to the next slide, which is the young co-founder issue. So I myself had some issues like this when I I attempted to found a startup with a co-founder. So we got into a a situation where we don't talk to each other anymore. And that happens a lot actually in the startup environment. So the key points to remember is, when you co-found something in an early stage, well, there's first of all, both of the person are usually, providing some unpaid work, right? And just the fact and the nature that, the two individuals have decided to work together as co-founders is often driven by high ambition, personal agendas, like, I want to be a C-level, he wants to be a C-level, maybe you both want to be the CEOs. Well, they can't be two CEOs, right? So personal agendas, inexperience. So, the principal issue is as you enter the startup world, you come with your own, prejudgments, and you're wrong. And really, experience is going to, teach you how really to avoid the basic mistakes, and specifically as it relates to, co-founding and co-founders. Co-founders can actually kill the startup, right? It can really, be the reason why, you're not going to launch your idea. So for me, experience-based advice here would be, as much as possible, try to avoid the co-founding situation, and work on your own on your idea. Often, we tend to take a co-founder because it's more fun. It's than doing it alone. But then entrepreneurship is, it's tough, it's hard. And if you're not willing to put the hard work and go through the pain, of launching a startup, then maybe, you're not cut for it anyway. And bringing, I'm going to tell you this, bringing a co-founder at an early stage can be more of a pain than anything else. It doesn't mean you can't add another co-founder later on if you realize that, you really found someone that's going to add a lot of value to the table, and skills that are very different from your own skills. And then there's ways to manage this, right? And when you have a co-founder issue, maybe you are in that situation where that's it. You've both you co-founded a startup and you guys are disagreeing and everything. So experience will help you manage this. There's also techniques of conflict resolution, negotiation, And there's books that I could recommend to you, but it's not easy. And as much as possible, try to avoid it, and or go through it. Try to be mature and try to seek external advice from more experienced people if needed, that can help you go through those issues. So co-founding something is not easy. You're better off often starting on your own, I would say.